us his reflections on what the minister had to say. Thank you very much, Basil, for joining us. Your reaction to the minister's speech?
Well, in fact, good afternoon and thank you for inviting me. The minister's speech did not reveal anything new. In fact, she repeated what was in the circular that needs to be amended. She repeated what we knew from the news flash she had sent out on Sunday evening, and even the presentations done by the consortium. It's something that we teachers have done as well, and we've shown her this over and over again. And so too, even with the whole issue of the water story, it's an old story. So there was nothing in the statement of the minister that caused anybody to sit up.
Yeah.
She didn't address anything new. So whatever was said was known out there. And it's a great pity that she had lost the opportunity yesterday when this would have been something worth listening to. Today, it was old hat.
Yeah. Mr. Manuel, the previous speaker that I was speaking to from the Educators Union of South Africa was saying that he's almost certain that come the 8th of June, many schools won't actually be prepared. Are you of the same feeling?
He may be onto something, that there will still be schools that are not prepared, because our survey of Friday passed, and it was completed by 7,000 schools. It's a sample survey. And it indicated that there was still a large gap. But of course, that gap had narrowed substantially from the previous survey, which was a week before. And we will survey again at the end of the week to test that. But I'm sure that we wouldn't have ticked all the boxes, or dotted the I's and crossed the T's, so to speak. But I don't believe that we are going to be sitting with 50% of the schools not ready. I think we'll be closer to about 20%. And even that figure is too high for us.
Yeah.
Unless there's something dramatic planned, I don't know if we will be completely ready.
Yeah. Apart from the challenges of the actual virus itself and the potential risk of contracting the virus within the school environment, what are some of the other challenges that you're worried about, especially from a school learning point of view? And are you of the view that it's going to be easy to divide classrooms? Because we've heard about the ambitious plan to get classrooms down to 20. Is that going to work? Is there the staffing capacity to make that happen?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. Let's first concentrate on staff. We don't yet know how many have comorbidities and how many are over the age of 60. That may have a major impact on the number of people physically on the premises. Then, of course, as you're dividing classes up, remember the first model is relatively easy with the grade 12s and grade 7s. But I'm saying it tongue-in-cheek because we still don't know if there are people with that expertise from that particular pool that is left to assist with the matrics. But let's assume there is. When the next groups come in, the model changes completely, and now you have a much larger cohort of children, and so you can only manage 50%. Which 50%? Now, people think it's very simple, but it's actually enormously complicated. The school must identify siblings, the school must identify children from a similar area, etc., so that you have people, the kids coming from one area, and so that it makes taxis viable. Taxis won't bring children if there are 3 children coming from an area. So that's just the one aspect. The other aspect is about social distancing and just purely managing the complicated nature of being a child is going to be an enormous undertaking. The cleaning of the place after every lesson, as is suggested. Then, to complicate matters further, will there be material there to do that? So there's a lot of things. Teachers are worried about other more practical things. What about the shared textbooks, which was mentioned briefly in passing?
Yeah.
But what about the books that have to be marked? A maths teacher was just saying to me earlier this afternoon that he goes around during every lesson to look at the work in the books, and he's marking the books. Now, if the virus is going to be on the books, can he mark? Which to him is an essential part of his job. So there are complications that we haven't even thought of yet. But the school has an enormous amount of planning to do, over and above simply just bringing in PPEs and seeing that everybody's happy at school and there's a bit of social distancing in the staff room.
Yeah.
That's not the issue.
Earlier we spoke to SATU, and the representative there indicated a worry about the matric students, saying that all the odds are stacked against them. What are your thoughts about what should be done with matrics this year?
I believe that we took the wrong direction from the outset, trying to pretend that the years had no impact on us. We've lost a whole term. There are many, many children, the vast majority, have not been able to continue with their learning now during the lockdown. By pretending that nothing has happened, we are putting those children under tremendous pressure. And if you've ever had a child in matric, you will know that even the parents are in matric now again. And the whole family is under pressure. And some children will not cope. But it's unrealistic to assume that the children will be able to easily make up a whole term while still continuing with the new term's work. We should have thought differently about it. We should have looked at the exam. And there is no reason why we didn't take the time to reset exam papers whilst we had the time. Now, of course, time is moving on. But we quote other countries very glibly, but when it comes to some real issues, we didn't look at what New Zealand has done and Australia in terms of reducing the content of their final years because they knew they had lost so much time. We could have done that, but there has been no thinking beyond the obvious. We've been very, very lateral in our thinking. And what we need is we need people to think far beyond this the current confines of what we know as schooling.
Sounds like there's a lot of issues there. Thank you so much, Mr. Basil Manuel. He's NAPTOSA's president.